Hello crafters! For today's card, I'd like to show you how to add a little bit of elegance to your basic label shapes. So this is the card that we're going to be making. You can take a shape that's very simple, and with really easy additions, you can change it into something really special. So we're going to be using the Decorative Labels 1 from Spellbinders. We're also going to be using the basic label shape, which is the Vintage Labels 3 from Just Right Stamps. And to do our background, and I've actually done a lot of this ahead of time for us, we've got the Secret Garden stamp from Just Right. But as you can see, it's a beautifully detailed large stamp, and it's actually done in kind of a negative. So you see the background upwards and the flowers are actually recessed. So when you stamp it, you can change the color easily with that. Okay, let's set those aside, and I'll show you what I've gone ahead and done. I have stamped that background white on white, and to make it a little bit different, I've cut it into 3 panels and made a triptych out of it. And I think when you use your background stamps, a lot of times just doing something as simple as putting it into 3 different panels creates so much more interest on your cards. So any of your background stamps can be done this way, and this one is just beautiful. So I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon to this, and I've got a top tip for you. I've cut a piece of frilly edged ribbon here, and I'm just going to tape it to the back with some single-sided tape around the bottom of my card. And I don't want to tape it too tightly because I'll show you what I like to do. Rather than wrapping it all the way around and tying it, I think it's a little bit easier and it saves some ribbon, and you can make it look like you've done that just by using a glue dot. And I'll get a couple of these. And I'm going to put my bow on this side, so I'm going to just put the glue dot underneath right here, and I'm going to make it bunch where my bow is going to go. So it looks like you've actually tied that from behind, and you're going to save some ribbon in the long run, okay? So we're going to leave that for the moment, and in fact, let's put it onto our background piece. I've already matted and layered some red card with a white background that I've pierced. So I'm going to add a little bit of double-sided tape to it to stick it into place, and I think I'll do 2 more just to make sure that it goes across the ribbon and secures it nicely. Okay, and we'll center this into place. That looks pretty good. Okay, so next we're going to do a little bit of cutting. I've got the Decorative Labels 22, and I'm going to cut a piece of coconut white card. So let's use some removable tape, tape that into place. And I've stamped my sentiment, which is from the classic sentiment set from Creative Expressions. And I've stamped that already in a black archival onto my red card. So what I want to do here is, rather than centering it in the middle of my die, I'm offsetting it, okay? I'm going to tape it into place, and I'm going to put this onto the right side of this card. And that looks pretty nice like that. Let's just tape that into place, and we'll put 1 more piece on the opposite side. And before I started the demo, I actually went ahead and stamped my Secret Garden in white, or a perfect medium, and embossed it in white onto my red card. And I've gone ahead and cut it out with this die. Since I'm using it twice, I thought I'll do it ahead of time. So that's ready to go. So let's do some cutting. We're going to put this one on. It's a little detailed, so it may take 2 passes, but we'll see. And got the sentiment that I taped the Vintage Labels 3 over on the bottom there. Run it through our machine. You can hear that cracking and creaking, so you know it's doing its job. And that looks beautiful. I'll tell you what, let's give it a quick emboss. I'm going to pop it onto my base plate. Oops, let's reseat that. Right back into the die. And get the tan mat and our pink embossing plate. And we'll give it a pass through the machine. Embossing your dies brings out the beauty in them, and when you have the real detailed ones, it's lovely to do that. Just a little bit extra on your card. Okay, so now let's see how that looks. Take that off and move that to the side. Get this one out of the way. So we've got this piece ready to go. And let me take this one out. And I'm just going to run my finger underneath the edge to kind of loosen it up a little bit. There it goes. Should pop right out for us. Especially when you have detailed dies, you don't want to pull too much on it. Just slowly go around the edge of it, and that usually will loosen it. And if it becomes too difficult, then use wax paper when you cut it next time. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use a paper cutter, and I'm going to trim this die. Now let's move this about, and I just want to have a little edge of this showing. So we'll pop it right about, let's see, I can even line that up so it's a little bit straight. Let's go in a little more, kind of offset it a bit. I think that will be nice. See how that looks. And you can use this one for another card if you like. Let's move this out of the way. Now you can bring a lot of dramatic elegance to your card by adding little bits to the sides of your label shapes. Because it's a simple shape, it can take a little bit more in the way of bold, beautiful background items. So that's what we're going to do with this one. I'm going to put this on the side and tape it into place so it just lines up perfectly with the original die cut. That looks good. And one of the other things I like to do is add a border strip between them. So I've got a piece of white card that I've just cut and added some pearls to. And I might even have to add a couple more. Let's just see. Put a little bit of glue on there. And I'm going to just pop that down the side. In fact, I would add maybe a couple more pearls, but I think we're okay on that. And then we'll trim off the extra. And I'm just going to follow that around like that and follow it around like that. There you go. So now you've got a completely different look to your label shape, adding a lot more drama and elegance to it. Let's see. I think I even have a couple more pearls. Let's put one more top and bottom. What do you say? We'll finish it off properly. Put in 2 right there, I think. That'll be perfect. And we'll add this one right there and this one right here. Down. Get that into place. Ah, I'm liking the way that's coming out. Okay, and the other thing I've done is I've cut another label shape, the same exact Vintage Labels 3. I've cut it in half, and we're going to use this as a shadow. So what we do is add a little bit of glue, or excuse me, a little bit of tape to it. In fact, we'll put a little bit of tape top and bottom here. And take your piece and just line it up so that the tip is peeking out from underneath the other piece. You can take a little more time and make sure it's good and straight on yours. And then we'll do this one. In fact, let's put a little more tape on the top there. That'll hold it a tiny bit more secure. And try and even them up so they're both about the same. There we go. So I've got a nice shadow going, and we'll put some mounting foam on the back of that. Let's do a piece top and bottom. What do you think? There. And get our card back. Now I've already added a little black swirl to the corner because that's kind of a nice finishing touch. And we'll peel off our mounting foam and show you what it looks like with a bit of a dramatic, elegant look to your label shape. Now it's not finished yet. Remember this little spot we decided to pinch for our bow? What we're going to do is we now have tied a double bow out of the frilly edge ribbon, and I've added a little pearl embellishment to the center. Now I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but these are brand new. They are the smaller version of the pearl embellishment that we've had up until now. But people asked for them, so we got them for you. So I'm going to add that to my card with some glue dots and just put it over that little pinched area so it looks like it's been tied from the back already. And to finish the card off, a couple black crystal stick pins, and we're just going to pop them into place. Stick them right about like that. I like to have them in 2 different sizes, so I have one a little taller than another. And there you have it. Oh, I'll tell you what it needs. Just one little thing. Let's put a couple little black pearls, flat back pearls, right up in the corner there. Sometimes you just need a little bit of balance. Let's do that. finish it off really, really nicely. There you go. So I've got an elegant and dramatic look to your basic label shapes that you can do with any of your designs. I think it's very, very pretty. And this would work for both male and female cards too if you remove the bow. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.